Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pretty Real Persona podcast, baby. And I am your host, Ariana. And today's episode is about healing. So, today's episode is a love letter to anyone who feels like they are behind on their healing, baby. Healing is not a linear journey, baby. Healing, baby, one day you feel like you're healing, the next day you feel like I'm back to where I was. But sometimes healing feels like, you know, sometimes you take two steps back to jump four steps forward to. And I will say this one thing is God will teach you the same lesson over and over and over until you see what that lesson is trying to teach you. He will. I am a witness. I'm a witness, baby. For me, has been one of the biggest things over the last literally like 5 years of my life. Like I will say, like going living by myself really like made me face myself in the mirror to where it was like, okay, boom, I'm drowning and I need to do something about it. If you're on your healing journey or you're feeling like, you want to heal, or you feel like, you feel you like you're in a dark space, and healing is the only thing that can help you, um and you don't know how to give yourself grace, baby. The trick to heal, oh baby, the trick to healing is literally giving yourself grace. You're not perfect, you're only human. You're only human. Let's talk about like kind of what it means to heal yourself, and how to give yourself grace through those messy moments of like the in between, the messy in the middle parts of healing. Um so it's like, if you've ever asked yourself like, why am I still triggered? Triggered can mean like when you have a big reaction to something, like when you're super passionate, but when someone does something to you and you get super passionate, and it's like a tick in you and it triggers you so bad. There's a reason why that happened. There's a reason why we get triggered. Things trigger us, and a lot of time it's related to things that we've been through as a kid. So it's like you hear me talk a lot about that because like our childhood plays a lot to the things that we need to heal. So it's like our inner child is so important during the healing journey, because we are our inner child. Like we are our inner child, our inner kid. And you're asking yourself, why am I triggered? Why am I not over this yet? Why do I keep falling back into old patterns? So this episode's for you. If you ask yourself any of those questions, this episode's for you. We're going to get into it. We're going to, talk about how things that help you heal. It's not a linear journey. It's like you won't always see the progress fast, and that's okay. Give yourself grace. The key to healing is grace. I could share a moment about like, kind of my healing journey, and kind of how like it was just a progress for me. Like for me, it was like I'm very introspective. So introspective is like when you go into yourself and you're asking yourself questions. So I think what really helps with healing is first getting yourself out of that victim mindset of thinking like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Like, um, why are they doing this to me? And think about what take take accountability for everything that happens to you. Like take accountability for everything that happens to you. So for example, you have a friend who keeps canceling things on you, and then they cancel on you like they always do, and then you take it personal. You're like, why, what is it about me? But it's like they've already showed you the pattern of what you mean to them. So really you need to ask yourself, why do I keep inviting this person to hang out with this person? Why do I keep wanting to spend my time and my energy on this person who keeps dismissing me, putting me to the side, not really valuing my time or valuing like our friendship? Take inventory of that and just really change how you do it. And then ask yourself, what in me wants to still keep putting energy and asking and making plans and having faith in someone who's already showing me that I'm not a priority, or even worth like hanging out with, or making rescheduling time, or actually meeting up with. Ask yourself that. Like that's why I want you guys to journal. That's why we're going to journal. I want you to be able to ask yourself those kind of questions. That's how you get to the root of why you do what you do. And that is another important question. Figure out why you do the things that you do. That is one of the biggest steps to healing. Like, start paying attention to what really, really bothers you and what really hurts you, like when some things happen. Like for me, so I have an anxious attachment style. So a trigger for me, feeling left out is a huge trigger for me. Like if I feel like someone had something and I like wasn't invited, or I feel like someone who I feel close to and it's something, a big event, or it's something in their life and I wasn't invited, that's a trigger for me because um, I have abandonment issues from being a child. The main trigger for like anxious attached people are just feeling um, abandoned. Like, think about triggers. A trigger is not, you have to know your triggers. So it's like when you are being triggered and say you have a out of body reaction or out of character reaction, it's not someone else's job to cater to your triggers. You have to know what they are, and you have to know what could trigger you, and you have to not put yourself in those kind of situations, or be able to express like why you were triggered to someone if you do react in a way. And you have to work on, you know, not reacting in that kind of way next time. That's healing. That's how you know you've healed, when you go deep, you dive deep into why you acted the way you act, or why I am the way I am. And then and then it's like, it's this one thing. This is why I say the key to healing is grace, is because once you figure out, okay, I act this way, this is why I act this way, then you give yourself grace. You don't say, um I'm always doing stuff like this, like I shouldn't feel like this. Like, none of that is going to help you heal. Like, none of that negativity is going to help you heal. You have to literally give yourself grace. You have to literally dive deeper and say, okay, well, as a child, I spent a lot of time by myself. I wasn't always included. Just things like that, deep abandonment issues, like, oh, or your mom went to jail. Emotionally unavailable parent, like that causes you abandonment. So stuff like that, like all of those things shows up in our adult lives in some way, some form. And so it's just getting to the bottom of like why those things are happening, and ask yourself like, okay, well, where are all the times I felt like this before? And lining them up to see what the theme is, to see, how you can improve, how you can be better next, or how you can heal from this. A good steps for like healing is definitely like feeling through, analyze a productive like solution, give yourself grace, because it's like, it's okay to feel that way. There's many people who feel the same way as you. You don't have to, you're not perfect. So it's like, it's okay. Give yourself grace, give yourself a hug, and give your inner child a hug, and let them know like it's okay. And then it's not enough to like okay, boom, you identify what's triggering you. Every time you feel that trigger, now you know, like, okay, I feel triggered when things like this happen. So now you know, okay, next time something like this happen, I'm going to try my hardest not to react in the same way that I did. And then every time you try that, every time that situation happens, then you heal from something like that. And so then things like that don't even bother you, because um, boom, you have a better like self-awareness of what kind of things trigger you and what kind of situations not to put yourself in. I want to talk about like what it looks like to give yourself grace. And grace is not an excuse. Grace is literally self-love, and self-love heals. Self-love is peace. Here's what like healing and giving yourself grace can look like. So grace looks like, not punishing yourself for old habits, resting without guilt. That was a hard one for me at the beginning, like of healing. Like I used to feel like, oh, I have to go, do this, do this, do this. I can't take a break. But it's days like I'll do it. I'll have a to-do list. I'll get as much as I can get done, like after work or anything. Like I said, I have a busy day, and I'll just put it on to the next day. That's me giving myself grace. I did my best today, and I can show up tomorrow and finish it. So it's like stuff like that, or celebrating your small wins, like like I didn't shut down today, or I didn't, Um, I didn't cry myself to sleep today. I showed up for myself today. Celebrate those things that you weren't doing. So it's like the things that you're trying to heal from. And when you see progress, celebrate those things. Give yourself a pat on the back. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself the affirmations. Tell yourself that you're proud of yourself. Um, Tell yourself that you love yourself. Speaking gently to yourself. You literally, it's like, I'm trying, self talk is one of the positive self talk literally reframed my whole life. I literally seen something, whether it was a TikTok, I will say I learned a lot of shit from TikTok, baby. But I literally seen something on TikTok where it said like negative self talk is basically like the negative things you hear in your mind. So it's like, say you do something that you like feel like you shouldn't did, and you say, oh, that was stupid, or I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, like, girl, like, why would you do that, like stuff like that. Stop doing that. Reframe your mind. So every time you catch yourself, this is what I started to do, how I reframed literally my subconscious and my literally the my I started to positively self-talk to myself. And honestly, how you talk to yourself and how you treat yourself is how you treat others. So once you treat yourself better, you will already like naturally start to treat others better. Say I went into the wrong door, or I forgot to lock my door, and I say, "Oh, you're so stupid." Like, no, then I'm going to say, "No, I'm not stupid. I made a mistake, or um I forgot, it slipped my mind, and it's okay. I'm human. I can give myself grace. Next time, I'll just be more mindful. I'm not stupid. I'm smart, actually." Like every time, and it's hard. It's hard, especially if you have a lot of negative self talk. Um, it's hard, but you have to do, when you catch yourself, you have to do it every time and reframe your mind, um, to speak to yourself gently. And giving yourself motivation, self motivating yourself, like saying like, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm closer to where I want to be every day, and I'm going to get there. Have faith in yourself, self confidence, self love, self esteem. Actively be trying to build those things, because that is everything. Here are some examples of like how to affirm yourself, things you can say. Like me, I used to do affirmations in the mirror, and sometimes I used to cry, like at the beginning, when I was really realizing like, okay, my self-love isn't really where I need to be at, and that is part of my healing journey. I started to literally look in the mirror, and I used to say affirmations to myself, and it was so powerful. It was one of the most powerful things. So affirmation you can say, like, I usually look mine up on Pinterest for like certain topics, certain things, like especially when I'm doing like an interview or something like that. I usually look it up on Pinterest. So look it up on Pinterest. But and I'm gonna start providing you guys with some too. um but today I will say, here's a good one you can say in the mirror. You can look in the mirror and say this to yourself: I don't need to be perfect to be proud of myself. And you say it 3 times. I don't need to be perfect to be proud of myself. I don't need to be perfect to be proud of myself. Every version of me deserves love. Every version of me deserves love. Every version of me deserves love. And I am allowed to take my time. I am allowed to take my time. I am allowed to take my time. So, just saying things like that in the mirror to, to help yourself. Your tongue is powerful. It's very powerful. So, watch the things that you say, how you speak to yourself, and that's good. That's a start. Journal prop of the week, baby. Let's get to it. Journal prop of the week this week. And I hope you guys have been in your journal. Get in your journal. If you have not bought a journal, run to the store. They have them at the Dollar General. Me personally, I like Walmart journals, or I'm not going to promote Target because of DEI, but I used to get mine from Target, and they used to have the best journals too. But so the journal prompt of the day is: where in your healing journey are you being hard on yourself, and what would grace sound like instead? You guys can DM me, what you kind of wrote in your journal. Let me know anything. You can let me know in the DM, in the comments. Let me know how journaling is going for you. If journaling has, you felt a release, or you felt great after journaling. Let me know. Let your girl know something. I just kind of want to leave you guys with some closing words. You're not failing because you're still feeling, and you're not broken because you still get triggered. Um, Let today be permission to slip, to breathe, pause, and extend radical compassion to yourself because you're still healing. Give yourself grace. Like that is the ending closing words today. Give yourself grace. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. Even if they try to tell you they are, they're not. Everybody, we all have flaws. We all have things, trauma, unhealed pain. We all have our own story of the things that we've been through as kids, and we all have a set of things that we're healing from. So give yourself grace, baby. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, give me a like, comment on, what kind of things you want me to talk about next week. I just want to say I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. I love you guys so much. And we're literally going to unlearn perfection. We're literally going to be leaning into our truth deeper and deeper every week, becoming the best version of ourselves, becoming more authentically us, finding our purpose, um, healing. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Ariana, and thank you guys for tuning in today. Love you guys.